Welcome everybody to another video of Ancient Greece Reloaded. Today we will talk about Amphitryon, husband of Alcmene and the stepfather of the Greek hero Heracles. By the way, if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so as to stay tuned for upcoming videos. Overall, Amphitryon was the son of Alcaeus, king of Tyrrhenes, and most possibly his mother was Asthidamia, otherwise Laonomi or Hipponomi, making Amphitryon brother to Anaxo, wife of Electryon, and Perimede. Via Alcaeus, Amphitryon was also a grandson of the hero Perseus, and via Asthidamia he was also a grandson of Pelops. When of age, Amphitryon would travel to the nearby kingdom of Mycenae, which at that time was ruled by Amphitryon's uncle Electryon, another son of Perseus. There, Amphitryon would become a suitor of Alcmene, the daughter of Electryon. During that time, Mycenae was in dispute with the Taphians, who were ruled by King Pterelaus, another descendant of Perseus through Perseus' son Mestor, who was Pterelaus' grandfather. The sons of Pterelaus left Taphos and made their way to Mycenae to claim part of the kingdom of Electryon, based upon their descent from Mestor. King Electryon rejected the claim outright, and so the sons of King Pterelaus started pillaging the kingdom of Mycenae. In order to stop them, Electryon dispatched his own sons, and when the two groups finally met each other, a battle ensued. In the battle, all of the sons of Pterelaus, except Eviris, perished, whilst all the sons of Electryon were also killed, save for the illegitimate son of the king Licymnius. The surviving Taphians left Mycenae with the cattle they had managed to steal, cattle which was eventually left in Elis with Polyxenos, whilst the Taphians made their escape. Amphitryon would retrieve this cattle from Elis by paying a ransom. Electryon was grateful for the return of the cattle, but the loss of his sons needed to be avenged, and so the king decided to lead his army against Pterelaus and the Teleboans. As a note, in essence, Teleboans and Taphians are the same people, two tribes residing in Taphos. Electryon decided to leave the kingdom of Mycenae in the hands of Amphitryon, although Amphitryon would not be able to marry Alcmene until the king returned from his expedition. King Electryon would not depart on the expedition though, for he was accidentally killed by Amphitryon before setting out. One story tells of how a club thrown by Amphitryon hit a cow, bounced off and struck Electryon down. Having died without a male heir, the throne of Mycenae was open, despite the fact that Electryon had planned to entrust it to his future son-in-law. Sthenelus, a brother of Electryon and another son of Perseus, decided to seize the throne, and for having killed the king, even though it was an accident, Amphitryon and Alcmene were exiled from the Peloponnese. Amphitryon and Alcmene would find sanctuary in Thebes, and there the regent of Thebes, Creon, absolved Amphitryon of any guilt associated with the death of King Electryon. They were joined in Thebes by Licymnius. Alcmene and Amphitryon were still not married though, and Alcmene refused to wed Amphitryon until the deaths of her brothers had been avenged, just as her father had planned. Electryon would have had an army at his beckoning, but Amphitryon was a foreigner in a foreign land. Nevertheless, Amphitryon went to Creon to ask for help. Creon actually agreed to Amphitryon's request, but only on the condition that Amphitryon rid Thebes of the Teumessian Fox, which was ravaging the kingdom. Dionysus had sent the fox as the Thebaeans had rejected the god, but Amphitryon was faced with an impossible task, for the Teumessian Fox was destined to never be caught. Amphitryon had to travel towards Athens to seek the help of Cephalus, for Cephalus' wife Procris had given him Lelaps, the hound which was destined to always catch its prey. Cephalus agreed to help Amphitryon in return for a share of the spoils from the future war. Those Lelaps was set loose to chase down the Teumessian Fox. Now, Zeus observed the entire situation and was faced with the dilemma of that cannot be caught being chased by that always succeeds. Zeus ended the chase by setting the hunted and the hunter amongst the stars, and so Thebes was freed from the ravaging fox. So, Amphitryon now had the beckoning of a force of Creon from Thebes, a force of Cephalus from Athens, and also a force from Argos and Hellas. The combined armies easily took control over the outlying islands of the Teleboans, but the main island of Taphos refused to yield. King Pterelaus, a son of Poseidon and Hippothoi, was said to be immortal because of his single golden hair, and so there was a stalemate until the treachery of Cometho, the daughter of Pterelaus, came to the forefront. Cometho had fallen in love with Amphitryon, and so one night, as Pterelaus was sleeping, she cut off the strand of golden hair of her father, leaving him vulnerable. And soon the king was dead, and the kingdom was taken by Amphitryon and his allies. The treachery of Cometho did her no good though, for when Taphos fell, Amphitryon put Cometho to the sword. The kingdom of Pterelaus was divided between Heleus and Cephalus, with Cephalus being given the island of Same, which subsequently became known as Kephallonia. Amphitryon himself would return to Thebes and his beloved Alcmene. Alcmene was a beautiful woman, and the god Zeus decided to have his way with her before Amphitryon could. And so, the day before Amphitryon returned to Thebes, Zeus disguised himself as Amphitryon and came to Alcmene. Zeus, in the guise of Amphitryon, brought news of the successful war and various spoils of the war, tricking Alcmene, and so Zeus and Alcmene lay together. The next day Amphitryon returned and was somewhat taken aback when Alcmene wasn't overjoyed to see him, although in her mind she had already given her love and welcome to Amphitryon the day before. Nevertheless, Amphitryon and Alcmene lay together, but afterwards Amphitryon consulted the seer Eurystheus, who told Amphitryon just what had occurred. Alcmene was of course pregnant with twins. One was the son of Zeus, Heracles, and the other one was the son of Amphitryon, Iphicles, and although the pregnancy of Heracles was delayed by the plotting of Hera, so that Iphicles could be born first, soon Amphitryon was a father. As Heracles grew up, Amphitryon remained an important military leader for Creon, and when war erupted between Thebes and Evia, Amphitryon led the Theban army, killing Chalcodon, the king of the Evians, in the major battle of the war. Amphitryon was said to have died when Heracles was still relatively young, and perhaps unsurprisingly, for a man whose life was dominated by warfare, Amphitryon would die on the battlefield. At the time of the death of Amphitryon, Thebes was paying tribute to Erginus, ruler of the Menians. Erginus' father Clymenus had been killed whilst in Thebes, either whilst attending a feast or through the actions of Menikeus, the father of Creon, or one of his servants. The tribute was of 100 oxen per year for 20 years. When the emissaries of King Erginus were making their way to Thebes, they encountered the youthful Heracles. Heracles decided that the time of tribute was to end, and Heracles chopped off the hands, ears and noses of the emissaries, and sent the messengers and their body parts back to Boeotia. Such an action could not go unpunished, and so King Erginus led the Menian army towards Thebes. Amphitryon would march out with the Theban army to meet the threat, with Heracles by his side, and in the battle that followed, the Thebans emerged victorious, killing King Erginus in the process, and the Menians would then have to pay twice the previous tributes to the Thebans. The victory came at a price though, for Amphitryon would also die during the battle. Amphitryon's wife, Alcmene, now a widow, would subsequently marry Rhadamanthys, the son of Zeus exiled from Crete, and it was said that Rhadamanthys would teach his new stepson, Heracles, the art of the bow. Let us finish with the following saying: good breeding for the animals means bodily strength, and for the man, grace of character. Democritus. That being said, remember guys to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, it would help us a lot. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for upcoming videos.